What really happened at the airport that day that made millions of ARMY around the world suddenly emotional? Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel JiKook Lover so you never miss the latest stories, moments, and surprises about JiKook and the other BTS members. That morning was supposed to be just another ordinary airport departure. Cameras were ready, reporters were waiting, and fans stood quietly in the distance, hoping to catch a glimpse of their idols. Everything seemed normal, but then something small happened. Something so simple that it lasted only a few seconds. Yet somehow, that moment made thousands of fans online say the same thing. This is exactly why BTS is loved all over the world. What did JiKook and the other BTS members actually do at the airport that day? And why did a short video suddenly spread across the internet like wildfire? Because what happened next was far more touching than anyone expected. The airport moment that warmed hearts. JiKook and BTS members show their most respectful side, Purple Heart. It began like any other day at a busy international airport in South Korea. The morning air still carried a hint of chill. Passengers moved quickly across the terminal floors, dragging suitcases behind them while announcements echoed softly through the building. Airport staff hurried between counters, travelers checked their tickets, and everything felt routine. Nothing about that morning seemed unusual. Yet outside the departure gate area, a small crowd had already begun gathering. Several reporters stood with their cameras ready, lenses pointed toward the entrance where black vans usually arrived. A handful of fans waited patiently nearby, some holding their phones, others clutching small cameras in both hands. Their eyes were fixed on one direction. They were waiting for only one thing: the arrival of BTS. For many people, scenes like this have become almost normal whenever the global group appears at an airport. Cameras flash, fans wave excitedly, and reporters rush to capture even the smallest movement. But on this particular day, something about the atmosphere felt different. Not louder, not more chaotic, just different. Because what happened next was something that many fans online would later describe as a small moment with a huge meaning. When the black vehicles finally arrived and the doors opened, the cameras instantly came alive. Reporters lifted their lenses, flashes sparkled in the air, and a ripple of excitement passed through the waiting crowd. One by one, the members of BTS stepped out. Even from a distance, fans could immediately recognize them. Their casual airport fashion, their calm expressions, the way they walked together while security quietly guided them toward the entrance. For global superstars like BTS, situations like this happen countless times every year. Airports, cameras, reporters, fans, it has become part of their daily lives. Most celebrities in this situation simply move quickly through the crowd, focusing on getting inside the terminal as fast as possible. But what happened that morning was slightly different. Something small happened, something subtle, something that lasted only seconds, yet made fans all over the internet pause their scrolling and watch the clip again and again. Instead of rushing past the crowd, the members slowed down just a little. Their expressions were calm, relaxed, and warm. Not the forced smiles that celebrities sometimes show for cameras, but genuine smiles. And when a few fans standing far away shyly waved their hands, hoping that maybe, just maybe, one of the members would notice them, the members noticed. That simple reaction became the beginning of a moment that many ARMY later described as heartwarming beyond words. Because rather than ignoring the distant fans in order to move quickly toward the gate, the members responded in the most respectful way possible. They acknowledged them. They greeted them. They bowed slightly in appreciation. For people unfamiliar with Korean culture, this gesture might seem small. But for fans watching the video online, it carried a deeper meaning. It represented respect, gratitude, humility, and in a world where global fame often creates distance between celebrities and the people who support them, this small gesture felt incredibly powerful. Within minutes, short clips of the moment began circulating across social media platforms. Twitter exploded with reposts. TikTok edits started appearing within hours. Instagram pages dedicated to BTS shared screenshots and slow-down videos. Everywhere the clip appeared, the comment sections filled with emotional reactions. Many fans wrote similar messages. This is why BTS is different. They never forget their fans. They stayed humble even after becoming global superstars. For a longtime ARMY, the moment wasn't entirely surprising. Fans who have followed BTS for years know that the members have always shown deep respect toward fans, staff members, and reporters. But seeing it happen again, so naturally, without any dramatic attention, felt incredibly meaningful. And then there was another moment that quickly caught the attention of fans all over the world. A moment involving JiKook. As cameras continued capturing the members walking toward the entrance, two familiar figures appeared not far from each other in the crowd. The moment fans noticed them in the same frame, excitement spread instantly. For years, JiKook has been one of the most beloved friendships among fans. Every small interaction between them tends to spark thousands of discussions online. But what happened this time wasn't some dramatic or staged interaction. It was quiet, natural, almost unnoticeable at first glance. And perhaps that was exactly why fans found it so touching. As voices from the distance called out their names, the two members briefly slowed their steps. Just for a moment, not long enough to disrupt the security team's movement, but long enough to acknowledge the people waiting for them. That short pause became one of the most replayed clips from that morning. Some fans said the moment felt incredibly sincere. Others said it reminded them of the early days of BTS, when the members would often stop to greet fans, even in crowded spaces. Many simply said the same thing. They never changed. The video spread rapidly across the internet, gaining hundreds of thousands of views within hours. Soon it reached millions. But what fascinated many people wasn't just the moment itself. It was the emotional reaction from fans worldwide. People from different countries, different cultures, and different languages all seemed to share the same feeling after watching that short clip. Warmth. Because in the middle of flashing cameras, busy schedules, and global fame, BTS still managed to show something simple yet powerful: respect for the people around them. Reporters who were present at the airport later mentioned that the atmosphere that morning felt unusually calm and pleasant. There was excitement, of course, but there was also a sense of mutual respect between the members and the crowd. And perhaps that is what made the moment feel so special. It wasn't a staged event. It wasn't part of a performance. It was simply a few seconds captured by cameras during a routine airport departure. Yet those few seconds managed to remind millions of fans why BTS continues to be loved around the world. However, as the video continued spreading online, one intriguing question began appearing in discussions among fans. Was this heartwarming airport moment simply another example of BTS's well-known kindness? Or was there something deeper behind the way JiKook and the other members interacted with fans that day? Because if a small gesture lasting only a few seconds could move millions of people across the internet, then what other unseen moments of kindness might be happening behind the cameras that the world hasn't noticed yet? So now the question remains, was this airport moment just a simple act of politeness that happened to be captured on video? As the video continued to circulate across social media platforms, something interesting began to happen. At first, it was simply another clip of BTS at the airport, something fans had seen many times before. But the longer people watched it, the more they noticed details that seemed almost impossible to ignore. The clip wasn't dramatic. There were no loud announcements, no chaotic fan interactions, and no extraordinary stage-like moments. It was simply a group of global superstars walking through an airport terminal like they had done hundreds of times before. Yet something about the atmosphere in that video felt different. Fans who watched it carefully began pointing out the subtle things that most people might overlook during a quick glance. The way the members slowed their steps. The way they looked toward the fans rather than straight ahead. The way they acknowledged the reporters who had been waiting with cameras for hours. And perhaps most importantly, the way they bowed. For many international viewers, a bow might seem like a small cultural gesture. But for Korean fans, and even longtime ARMY across the world, it represents something much deeper. A bow is not simply a greeting. It's a sign of respect, humility, and gratitude. Seeing BTS continue this habit even after becoming one of the biggest music groups on the planet felt powerful. Because fame often changes people. Success often creates distance. But moments like this suggested that BTS might be different. Soon, fan accounts began reposting slowed-down clips of the airport scene. Some zoomed in on the members' expressions. Others highlighted the exact moment when the members noticed fans standing behind barriers in the distance. In many of these clips, fans focused on JiKook. Not because they were doing anything dramatic, but because the interaction between them seemed natural and comfortable in a way that felt deeply genuine. When one of them slightly turned his head toward the crowd, the other seemed to follow the same direction almost instinctively. When one raised a hand in greeting, the other smiled quietly before continuing to walk. It wasn't a performance. It wasn't exaggerated. It was simply a moment of shared awareness in the middle of a busy public space. And for many fans watching online, that was enough to spark an emotional reaction. Comments began pouring in from all over the world. Fans from the United States wrote about how refreshing it felt to see celebrities remain so humble. Fans from Brazil shared emotional posts about how small gestures like this made them feel closer to the group despite living thousands of miles away. Even fans who had only recently discovered BTS said the clip made them curious about the group's reputation for kindness. One comment that quickly gained thousands of likes read, "Most people think BTS is loved because of their music, but moments like this show the real reason." Another fan wrote, "They treat fans like people, not just an audience." The discussion didn't stop there. Soon, fans began sharing stories from past airport encounters, fan meetings, and public appearances where BTS had shown similar behavior. Stories of members stopping to greet staff. Stories of them thanking reporters. Stories of them bowing to fans, even when security urged them to move quickly. Slowly, the airport clip transformed from a simple viral moment into something bigger, a reminder of the group's long-standing reputation. But as the conversation grew, another topic began appearing repeatedly in fan discussions. JiKook. For years, the friendship between the two members has fascinated fans around the world. Their interactions, sometimes playful, sometimes quiet, sometimes deeply emotional, have created countless memorable moments throughout BTS's career. And although the airport video showed only a few seconds of interaction, many fans felt that those seconds revealed something meaningful. In one slowed-down version of the clip, viewers noticed that while walking through the entrance area, both members briefly turned toward the same group of fans who were waving from afar. The moment lasted less than 2 seconds, but in those 2 seconds, fans believed they saw something that perfectly represented the dynamic between them. A shared awareness, a silent understanding, a comfortable familiarity that didn't require words. Of course, not everyone agreed on what the moment meant. Some fans said it was simply two friends acknowledging their supporters. Others believed it showed how naturally in sync the two members seemed to be even in busy environments. But regardless of interpretation, one thing was certain. The clip had captured the attention of the global fandom. Within hours, hashtags related to the airport moment began trending in several countries. Fan edits appeared on TikTok with emotional background music. YouTube channels started analyzing the moment frame by frame. And across thousands of comment sections, the same question kept appearing again and again. Why do small gestures from BTS feel so meaningful? Perhaps the answer lies in the history of the group itself. Since their debut, BTS has often spoken about the importance of respecting the people around them, fans, staff members, and even reporters who document their journey. In interviews over the years, the members have repeatedly mentioned gratitude as one of the core values that shape their mindset. Gratitude for fans, gratitude for opportunities, gratitude for the people who support their work behind the scenes. For ARMY, seeing those values appear in everyday situations, like a simple airport walk, feels incredibly authentic, because it suggests that the kindness fans see on stage might also exist off stage. And perhaps that authenticity is what makes moments like the airport video resonate so strongly with viewers. After all, in an industry often criticized for being overly polished and controlled, genuine human moments can feel rare. Yet this particular moment seemed to remind fans that sometimes sincerity appears in the smallest gestures. A smile, a wave, a bow, a brief pause to acknowledge someone who came just to see you for a few seconds. For BTS, those gestures may feel natural, but for fans watching from across the world, they can carry an emotional weight that lasts far longer than the moment itself. Still, even as the video continued spreading across the internet, one mystery remained. Was the airport moment simply another routine example of BTS showing respect to fans? Or was there something deeper hidden in those few seconds of interaction? Something that only the most attentive fans might have noticed? Because if such a simple moment could spark this much discussion among millions of ARMY worldwide, then perhaps the real question isn't just about what happened at the airport that day. Perhaps the real question is this: could moments like these be the quiet reason why BTS continues to inspire loyalty and love across the globe, even in ways that statistics, charts, and awards could never fully explain? And if that's true, what other unseen moments between JiKook, the other members, and their fans might still be waiting to be discovered by the world? Purple Heart,